Welcome to Mythgrinder episode 2. This is my second episode of my experiment playing solo Dungeons and Dragons. This time I will have some improvements, hopefully. First of all, I will not count squares anymore. I will use inch ruler. Second of all, I will help my story go using a combination of the One Ring Strider mode and the Mythic Fate chart. Both the One Ring and Mythic Game Master Emulator are great products. I recommend them. You can find them online. There is also a second edition of Mythic, which you can buy via DriveThru RPG. So, let's start. Our adventurers find themselves half dead, half alive, into the dungeon of some nasty orcs. Let me just find the map because I forgot it. So, they found this peculiar dungeon somewhere in the forest near their town. I'm not quite sure what exactly this means, but they stumbled upon some orcs. They managed to kill 4 orcs. 2 of the orcs escaped. My cat will eat me. And 2 of our companions were dead, but they made their saving throws, which I allowed. And both of them had huge disadvantage on saving throws because of the negative hit points. So the cleric mentor had to roll natural 20 to be alive, and he did it. This was a miracle. The thief had to roll his death saving throw, I think without penalty, and he did it as well, so they are both alive. The other 2 of our companions managed to kill those 4 orcs. Those are Eirik the fighter and Sovelis the elf. Now, first of all, they will try to save their companions who are unconscious. Our guys have some water skins and wine skins. They will just try to bring their 2 companions to consciousness so that they don't have to carry them all the way back home. Now, in order to do this, I will use, as I said, one of the tools which I prepared. I'll try the One Ring Strider mode. I just want to sprinkle some Tolkien-esque feeling in my pathetic game. Let's say it's doubtful that our companions will gain consciousness. Let's start with one of them, the cleric. No, he doesn't. The thief. No, both of them are unconscious. This means that our companions will have to drag the unconscious bodies of their comrades, of their friends, back to the village, which is 1 day travel. Or the other option is to try to make a camp outside of the dungeon. But the first thing is to just bring them out of the dungeon. So our guys will take their unconscious friends and drag them out of the dungeon. I will roll a random monster encounter because they looted the orcs. This will give the orcs, probably the 2 escaped orcs, time to go and call alarm. So on a wandering monster encounter check, I will roll on 1/6 that more orcs will come, and this will spell doom for our party. 6, no wandering monsters. So our companions manage to bring their unconscious friends out of the dungeon, into the forest. Now, if they make camp successfully, I will rule that on the next day, if everything goes as planned, their 2 friends will be conscious at 1 hit point. So I will make the elf roll his intelligence and see if he can make a camp. Our elf has an intelligence of 13 Sovelis is quite intelligent, so he has to roll 13 or less in order to succeed making camp. 19! They make camp a little bit farther away from the entrance of the dungeon, like a hole in the ground in the near thickets. It's surrounded by bushes and trees, so the camp is out of the sight of anyone who would search for them. This is like probably 1 mile away from the entrance. On the next day, their companions regain consciousness. They drink water and wine. They eat some of their rations. On the next day, in the early morning, they hear the sweet songs of some birds, and nobody disturbs them. But I have decided also to penalize my almost dead companions, because after all, the original rules say that when you reach 0 hit points you're dead, but I am more merciful, and I will just say that there is a chance that each of our dead companions who was dying has a chance to lose 1 point in one of his attributes. If a 1 is rolled, they lose 1 point there. So, the cleric. Strength 4. Dexterity a 1. Our cleric loses 1 dexterity. That's very bad. At least he is alive. So our cleric has 7 dexterity now. Constitution. Please not 1. 5. He's okay. Intelligence. A 2. Almost. Wisdom. No. And charisma. 5. It's okay. So the cleric mentor is a little less dexterous. Probably the orcs hit him very, very hard in the right arm. Or in the left. Yeah, he wants to eat me. I'll do the same when each character reaches level up. This I'm stealing from a great podcast called Tale of the Manticore. You just search it in Google. You can listen it on several platforms. Anyways, so whenever a character survives to a higher level, they'll have a chance to increase some of their attributes on a 6. Let's see our thief. Strength. He doesn't lose any strength. Dexterity. He doesn't lose any dexterity. Constitution. He doesn't lose any constitution. I will roll with my cup. Intelligence. No loss in intelligence. Wisdom. No loss in wisdom. And charisma. No loss in charisma. Our thief is fine. Let's say fine. Okay. They are both at 1 hit point currently, so they just need to be very, very careful. Every character regains, I think, 1d3 hit points per day of full rest. So they'll need at least several days to fully recover from this near-death experience. So our guys are heading back to town. They have 1 day of striding. I'll just use the telling table in the strider mode to determine if they are encountering any random encounter during their ride home. On an 8+, they encounter a problem. No, there is no problem. 3. So everything is alright. And this means that they reach their town safely. Let's determine what's the name of their town, because this is already important. First, which direction from the town was this entrance of the dungeon? I will roll d8. 8 is north. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm rolling to determine the direction of the entrance relative to the town. 4. The entrance of the dungeon is south of the town. So the town is probably at the border of this forest. They reach their town. I just calculated that the total experience per party member was 11. This is nothing. We are looking for a big treasure. So we have to go back to the dungeon. However, first we have to rest a bit because 2 of our members have only 1 hit point. They rest, they spend a buck in the nearest tavern. They are torn and bloody after the battle, so they get strange looks. But they are so tired that they don't have to explain. They go to the nearest tavern. Let's just determine the name of the tavern and the name of the town. I will use a slightly different method of determining the town name. I'll just roll a die, the 1000th die, and look the page in this good book, and whatever my eyes catch will be the part of the name or inspiration for the name of the town and of the tavern. Let's see. 388. Council. What inspiration can I draw from this? Rauros. Rauros rode endlessly. So this town is near a waterfall. Yeah. I determined that the town is called the town of Guidewater. Guide as guidance. And the waterfalls are known as the Falls of Wisdom. And let's check what's the name of the inn where our adventurers go first. It's 695. The Nameless Hobbit. Halfling, probably. I should say Halfling, I'm not sure about those copyright stuff. Okay, the Nameless Halfling Inn. The Nameless Halfling Inn. It's a nice name for an inn. Probably he had the name, but he forgot it after so many beer. Anyways, so our adventurers go into the Nameless Halfling Inn. They dine, they gain 11 experience each. So they decide that they'll wait for their wounds to close, and probably after several days they will adventure to this dungeon, which is mysterious, and nobody knows about it, which is strange. There was a rumor about this dungeon. They know this rumor about this dungeon, but nobody believes that it existed. They agreed amongst themselves to just not share the information because they want the loot. On the other hand, they know there are orcs in it, so this means that probably they have to tell the sheriff of this village. Let me see if they decide to share the information on the next day with the sheriff, because orcs, after all, are a bad thing to have about, and they should probably inform the authorities about it. However, they don't want other adventurers to go into the dungeon and spoil their loot. So let's see. Do they tell a sheriff about the dungeon? I would say the chance is doubtful. No, they don't. So our adventurers go to the inn. Some people ask them, "Where have you been? You look awful. There is blood all over you," says the bartender, which name is... It's the bartender Ed of the Nameless Hobbit. Probably he himself is a halfling. No, he's a man, but just the inn is called the Nameless Halfling. Our elf says, "Ed, just bring us some ale, we're very tired. We were hunting wolves because they were troubling our friend to the south who has a farm there, and we managed to push them away. We killed 1 or 2, but we were badly hurt, so please bring us some ale and don't ask questions." Does the bartender believe him? I will say I will make a charisma check for the elf. Yes, the bartender believes him. Okay, friend. Sorry for asking. As long as you have to pay me, I'll give you as much ale as you want. So he pours ale to the group, First night goes well, all of them go to sleep. On the next day, they all regain some hit points. They are all at full hit points after they spent 4 days of rest. By my estimate, they spent around 1 gold per day for food and good rest and wine. And in this price I will include that they replenish their supplies of rations for adventuring, including water and wine. So they are fully prepared to go back to the dungeon. It's 1 full day from the town of Guidewater to the dungeon of the orcs. Let's say 1 in 6 they encounter something. Nothing. They don't encounter something and they go into the dungeon. They enter this big underground structure which is octagonal. Is it probable that the orcs have reinforced themselves and that they have more people into this dungeon now? I'll say it's likely. Okay, 9. Yes, the orcs are back in the dungeon. 2d4 of orcs are back in the dungeon. Five orcs are there. Is this dungeon like a main outpost of the orcs? I'll say it's doubtful. 8 or greater. 9. Yes. Okay, this is the main outpost of the orcs. So 5 orcs, they're just guarding the room against another infiltration from outside. Do they want to fight? 9. They want to fight. So they say this of course in Orcish. What are you doing here? What are you doing here? We will kill you. You killed our leader. We cannot return back without your heads because our chieftain will behead us. This is what they say. And our guys have no other choice but to battle again. They were expecting this. I don't think anyone is surprised. Were the orcs surprised? Unthinkable. 10 plus. No. Were our party surprised? Unthinkable. 10 plus. It's a 6. No. First I have to decide actions. So both of the orcs armed with maces will go and try to smack our elf because they know he is the most dangerous one. He has spells. All of the other orcs will try as well to hit our elf. Our fighter will try to defend the elf while he is casting. Did he cast his spell beforehand, before entering the dungeon? Yes, he had, because his intelligence is 13. So our elf has protection from evil, which grants him a +1 bonus of saving throws and armor class against evil guys, like these orcs. And this means that in my house rule, anyone can choose to defend another character by protecting him by just protecting him bodily. This means that the other party, in order to hit the protected guy, has to roll the protector's armor class or higher, has to beat the protector's armor class, and even if he does that, there is 2 in 6% that the protected guy will be hit. So only our thief will try to fight in ranged. The other guys will melee and will try to reach the archers before they hit them. The orcs also will try to melee. The orcs will try to engage in melee. Our thief will shoot at one of the guys with the bows. So it's action time. The battle will ensue because those orcs are angry. Their chieftain will execute them if they don't bring the head of this elf who killed his subordinate leader, orc leader, and 2 of their guys. And so 3 of the orcs will try to shoot, probably at the elf. I have to determine this, and those 2 guys will engage in melee combat. The cleric, the elf, and the fighter will also engage in melee combat, and the thief will try to shoot with his sling. So first, initiative. Yellow die is for orcs, blue die is for our party. Okay, yellow orcs go first. They have 8 inches of movement, so they can go up to here. And the archers will shoot. I think they are clever enough to concentrate fire on the elf, but let's determine the range. So they shoot with longbow, which has a range of 14 inches is the short range. They will move to get the +1 bonus for the short range, and they will concentrate fire on the elf. Our elf has armor class of 2, 16 to hit the elf. 16 to hit the elf. Okay. 4 natural miss and 15. Nobody hits the elf. Okay, it's our guy's turn. The thief will try to shoot with +1 somebody. I think he'll try to shoot at, and this guy can come up here to attack this one. No, he will attack this one. And the thief will shoot one of the archers. So the archers have armor class of 6, and our thief has tackle of 19, so he has to hit 13 in order to hit the archer. Our guys have to hit, so their armor class is 6. Let's just roll. Let's see what happens. Their armor class is 6. Okay, the elf hits, the cleric misses, the fighter probably misses because he has +3 to hit, but he will not hit. And our thief with 17 hits, so these guys don't hit. Our elf hits, and our thief hits. +1, 8 points of damage, and our thief does 4 points of damage with his sling to this guy. So let's see how many hit points do orcs have. So this guy has 4 hit points. Okay, and he's down. And what about the elf with his set? Okay, the elf downs this orc, and he's down as well. So 2 of them are down, which is very good. Next round, both of the orcs will try to shoot our elf. Our elf will try to reach. He doesn't have range, unfortunately. Well, he can reach. Yeah, he can reach this guy. Both the cleric and the fighter will try to fell this orc. But first, let's roll for morale check of the orcs, because they have 2 comrades down, which is almost half of their group, and 6, I think, is they're not afraid. The orcs continue to fight. They are more afraid of their chieftain. The battle continues. Let's see who is first. So blue is our guys, yellow is the orcs. Okay, blue, our guys have the initiative. Let's see what they do. Okay, this was 12, this was 16, this is 12, and this is 9. 9, our thief doesn't hit the archer. 15, our fighter has 15 plus 6, yes, our fighter hits, and our cleric hits, and our elf will, so yes, he hits exactly, because he has 12 plus 1 plus 6 is 19. 3 of them hit. We need D8, and D6 for the cleric. So the cleric has 5, the fighter has 4, and the elf has 6. Let's see how many hit points do each of these guys have. So this guy has 7 hit points, but the elf has +1 bonus, so he is down. And 7 against 7 + 5, 12, and this guy is down. Only one guy left. We will try to catch him. I'm sure he will attempt to flee, because he doesn't stand a chance against 4 adventurers like us. And can we manage to get him? He will try to run, but they will try to catch him. Our thief will move and try to hit him with his sling. Let's see first who has initiative. Okay, our guys are first. So the elf, the cleric, the fighter doesn't have reach at all, and the thief will try to position himself for a better shot. They strike not to kill, which is harder with a sword. I'll just roll attacks. Only 2 attacks. Okay, 4. Our elf misses, and our thief hits. Only 1 point of damage. Let's see how many does the orc have. 5. So he's currently at 4. He will run in a panic. The orc manages to escape through one of the exits, the western exit here, and our guys are not ready to chase because they're unhurt, but they're not sure what is it behind those doors. They will search the bodies of the fallen orcs. I will roll again for individual treasure. These orcs are normal orcs. Their treasure type is either type P or type Q. On 1 to 4 there is nothing. So first orc, 6, he has a type Q. The other type 3, nothing. This one 5. So 1 Q and 1 P and nothing. 1 Q and 1 P means 10 plus 3 to 6. Sorry, 3d8 copper pieces. 10 copper pieces plus 3 to 6 silver pieces. Okay, 15 silver pieces and 10 copper. I'll just note this here. We didn't catch the 5th orc who managed to escape, and this means that we just continue to explore the dungeon. Since the orc opened the door and then slammed it, we suppose that it's not trapped, so our adventurers continue through this door. It's not trapped, so no need to check for traps. 13 is passage turns right 90 degrees. I'll check again. 16, a chamber, table 5. 9, dining room of 20 times 30, something like that. It's a chamber. Does it have exits? We will see. 5. Yeah, it has 2 exits, which are located. First one is opposite wall, and the other one is, let's say, one of them is here. Let's see the dungeon contents. It has 2 exits. We don't know if they're locked or not. It has monster, and it does have a treasure. This is good. What kind of monster is it? This is most probably the orc, and there is a treasure there. So most probably means this is the orc. So we found the orc. Now the question is, what kind of treasure is it? Is the orc alone? 7 plus he is alone. He is not alone. 2d4 minus 1. It's total of 5 orcs again. Our guys enter. They see there are 5 orcs here. Do they want to fight? 6 morale. If they roll above 6, they don't want to fight. No, they want to fight. And they're guarding some kind of a treasure. The battle will start. Again, our thief will try to do ranged attack, and our elf and fighter and cleric will go into melee. Let's see who is first. 6, our groups is first. So our fighter will go into melee with this one. Our elf will go into melee with that one. Our cleric will try to reach this orc, and our thief will shoot at one of the 3 orcs with the bows. So we have 4 dice to roll. They again have 6 armor class. And okay, our cleric doesn't hit. Our elf doesn't hit. Our thief doesn't hit, and our fighter has +3 bonus, so he hits surely. So we have 2 hits. So our cleric has 5 points of damage, and our elf has 8 points of damage against both of them are down. Was one of these the chief? 6 or more, one of the guys is the chief. 6, yes. So who is the chief actually? Because this is important. Because the chief will have double of the hit points. This guy is the chief. He has 4 hit dice. So this guy is down, but the chieftain is not down. 4 hit dice, which means he has 3 plus 6, 8, and 1 more. 5, 13 hit points. The elf made 8 hit points, so he's down to 5 hit points. Their turn, as we said. So both of them will shoot at the thief. 19. First one of them hits. 8 plus 7 doesn't hit. 15. One hit with d6 of points of damage, which is very good bet because Ruprecht has only 5 points of damage. And 3. So Ruprecht has 1 hit point left. So their chieftain is down, so almost down, and their friend, one of their friends is down, so they have to roll a morale check. 8. So the orcs want to surrender, and the chieftain says, "If you spare our lives, we'll give you our treasure, but please don't kill us." And I have to roll what all of this means. Okay, break open song. What does this mean? The elf Solis says with a sword pointing to the throat of the orc. "Tell us, orc chieftain, what are you doing in these woods? And why should we spare your miserable life?" The chieftain answers, "Please, elf, please spare our lives. We are here out of dire need to save our village." "Where is your village and what happened to it? We haven't seen orcs in 50 years around these woods. What are you doing here? What is this dump?" "I'll explain you everything if you promise us that you will not kill us." "Promise? What does a promise mean for a wretched, evil orc like you?" "Please, if you don't trust us, at least see that we are in dire need and desperation. All of us are hurt. All of us are wretched and hungry. It was several weeks ago when this creature, this slimy thing, crept out of the endless depths of our lake. In our tongue, it is called Doesn't speak anything to me. Continue. So we lived our orc life, and all of a sudden, at the end of the winter, when all ice started to melt, then out of the depths suddenly crept a dark, slimy thing, unspeakable horror. Even its presence sent waves of shuddering horror amongst our tribesmen. Most of them fell dead just by the sight of it. And orcs are not some puny kind who scares easily. We had a pact with the Dark Lord long ago, but we've never saw such a slimy, unspeakable thing. It cannot be described with words or pictures. However, in our songs and legends, there is a legend that these things exist. Even the Dark Lord shuns them. Even the Dark Lord, when he was not imprisoned, even then, he didn't dare to seek alliance with these slimy things. One of these things crept out of the lake, and one of these legends tells us that there is a tomb exactly in this part of these woods. And this tomb is of an ancient human warrior who lived thousands of years ago. He was in allegiance with our Dark Lord then, when our Dark Lord was powerful and free. So this ancient warrior, he had a weapon that could kill a slimy thing. He did it once. He lost his life, but he managed to destroy it as well. His sword is believed to have magical powers against those creatures of darkness. All living things who see those creatures are overwhelmed by unspeakable horror and despair, and most of them die. Even half of our tribe died. And our only hope is to find this weapon, to destroy this creature. You can take all other treasure in this dungeon, but please leave us this cursed sword. It is said to be cursed. It is said that whoever wields it will die. So you're telling me that this sword is cursed, and whoever touches it will die if this sword is out of reach? Yes, exactly. I'm willing to sacrifice myself for the tribe. Yes, there is sometimes honor amongst orcs. Okay, open this tomb and take your sword and leave everything else to us. Yes, elf. We'll probably manage to open this sarcophagus. If not, we all die. Take this gold there, but leave us to try and open this sarcophagus. If this slimy horror, unspeakable horror, crawls out of the depths of the lake, we are doomed. And probably you as well. I don't trust you, but we'll wait in the next room and you try to open this sarcophagus. You take your sword and leave everything else to us. Thus ends the second episode of Mythgrinder. See you next time.